Aziz Ibraim, pleased to meet you.
I'm glad you pronounced my name right.
I was worried about that myself, actually.
I do about up to here with Radio 1, get my name wrong. Putting ham in my name, Ibrahim, and I'm like, I'm a good Muslim boy and you've got pork in my name.
Hey, there you go, music news, always at the cutting edge. How did you come to be involved in this music news BBC introducing?
Well, I should think positive about it, but I kind of feel maybe I'll just fill in a space because somebody cancelled.
No, you've been down from the start.
No, it shouldn't be like that. Positive about it. It came completely out of the blue, really, and I suppose, Andy Rogers, Radio 1.
Yeah.
Because I'd done stuff for Paul Thomas. I think we did Guitar Legends once before, and they obviously guitar was included in the whole BBC introducing, so maybe the name just popped up in Andy's head, and the call came from obviously Radio 1, and it's what I like to take part in. And I wanted to, I like sharing, caring, sharing.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you played with Simply Red, the Stone Roses, Ian Brown, Asia, the Players, Paul Weller. Obviously, you've got a lot of experience there. I mean, what is your advice then to up and coming musicians?
Advice. I mean, there's advice. It could be a book, really, But if you want to sum up in terms of advice, I suppose your approach to your philosophy to how you're going to approach the music business, or whether you are deciding whether you're thinking about the business aspect or whether you're thinking about the fun aspect, your life. At the end, when you reach towards the end of the latter half of it, that you look back on your life and you want to have good memories about that, to say that you made all the right moves to satisfy your heart and soul. And I think it's important to stay true to your goals, to your music. So not chop and change too much, the influences of, they're doing well because they don't do that kind of music or whatever. I think to stick to your guns is the main thing in music, because you'll be honest to yourself, and at the end of the day you won't make any excuses for yourself if you didn't make it. You'll have enjoyed doing your music, your style, what you do, as opposed to jumping on bandwagons. And for people who want to jump on bandwagons, well, that's a business aspect and the money aspect. So the advice is that, yeah, okay, do that if money is the goal. But if money is the goal, then there's 1,000 other careers out there that could probably make you money, maybe faster. But for those who love music, just be true to yourself and persevere with what you have, without going off onto tangents of, this is in and that's in. Stay with what you got, what you know, and it will always be honest music and songs and lyrics. So I know that's not a short answer, but it's how I feel.
Yeah, no, superb. How did you yourself first become involved in the industry?
It's a weird thing. I never actually chose music as a career. It chose me. It was that. It was just a case of a phone call, and it was actually from Simply Red's management in '87, and it was that offering me a world tour, and I was just playing reggae gigs around Moss Side and Hume and around various community centres and playing for loads of bands in Manchester. And I got this phone call, but you want this job full time, and we'll give you £1 a week or whatever it was, and going to see the world first class. And I was like, Dalroy, is that you, man? Mick. Is that you? What have I told you? And then when it had sunk in, that's how it began, because I actually had this choice of education or a musical education and see the world, and it was that fate thing where I thought, I'm going to try that. I never thought of it as a career, but why not? This is fate. It's given me two separate paths. I'm going to go for it. I presume I would either have been a doctor or a basketball player if I hadn't chosen music, but I chose it. It took me in, and I just wanted to see how far I could go, and it fulfilled my potential.
What's the sort of the most enjoyable band you've played with?
Get your ass out of here. Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm Danny Minogue.
Jamie Callum there? No, the most enjoyable band you've played with?
The most enjoyable was, to be honest, it wasn't the most famous of bands. It was actually my old rock group called Gina Gina. This was in the 80s before Simply Red, and we had our own. It was like a Living Colour from Manchester.
Right.
And we'd got this sound, and we were heavily into Prince and all the Minneapolis scene, but had a Mancunian flavour to it as well. And we really, Andy, who owned Revolution Studios, introduced the late Jim Capaldi, and Jim took us into Island Records, and it was all set to take off. And Chris Blackwell sat at the table, you know, telling us how it was going to happen, and it never happened. But the days I spent in that band, I mean, in that band, the drummer was also Robbie J, who was the drummer in the Roses, replaced Rennie, and it was a wonderful experience, a great time of exploration in music, and you know, with your mates, and that's all I see in music. If with your mates in a band, and there's nothing better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You also stick true to your Asian side of music. You know, call it Asian blues. Is that
Asian blues? Yeah, I used to, because I manage myself. I have been doing for a long time. I always used to look at little, you know, marketing strategies, and there was always a belief about music for me that I don't. You know, people always. I don't like the phrase "it's all been done before." You know, I like to break down barriers. I like to fight that, you know, the box. And I came up with this category of music because I didn't want to be shelved. I know marketing involves you knowing where a tin of beans goes, but I wanted to create something new, so I called it the Asian blues, because a blues is something we all have. Obviously, we relate it to the Black American blues, but I relate it to the Asian experience of born in this country, brought up here, the experiences of what I have, but influences my music, influences my life, my decisions, everything. So I created this category just so as it would not be classified as world music or, you know, Indian classical or rock or indie or whatever it was. It was my music.
I have to say, it's a great term.
I could play it as well. That was the thing. I could play it. I could take a guitar and go, all right, well, this is a blues. This is what you recognise, but here's the Asian blues. And I'd twist it and make the guitar sound like a sitar or a koto or something, and, and then actually shape it to a blues progression or whatever the form of music. I could make it fit, and with some attitude, and that's what's British about it. You know, the whole thing ties it together. But that's what the Asian blues is. Cool. You know,
with them. Finally, I think we've been pushed for time here. Are you recording with Paul Weller at the moment on his new album?
Recorded. Hopefully, yeah, still recording with. He was supposed to be here today, but as you all know, he's had twins. Congratulations to him and Hannah. But I've done 2 songs, co-written 2 songs with him for the new album.
What are they called?
You know what? I'll have a guess. I think one's called By the Water, By the Waters, and the other one, I'm not sure, because it was like a collage of weirdness, and more of an instrumental kind.
What sort of style are we talking then?
It's quite experimental, whereas the song By the Waters is it's a beautiful acoustic piece. I played acoustic guitar, he sang, and we got some orchestra in on it from a guy from the Highland, and stuck some, well, not stuck, but he created some beautiful orchestral piece to it. Whereas the instrumental has a lot of something about the Serene Master, it's called anyway, and it's a right collage of sounds, his ideas, my ideas, somebody else in there too. But yeah, it's nice. I like collaborating, especially with Paul. I love collaborating with him. Your
vision and his vision pretty identical, or you?
No, it's not. They're not identical, but they cross over. I think they cross over, and that's the beauty of it. And chemistry is what it's all about. I had that with Ian, you know, with Ian Brown when we were writing songs for his albums, and it's the chemistry of it. And that's what the lesson I learnt in music. When you got great chemistry, you know, you write great songs.
That's it. Thanks a lot for your time. Is anything you'd like to say to Music News watchers?
Buy my single.
What is it?
On iTunes. It's a cover of I Fought the Law, written by Sonny Curtis. And but it's my own twist on it, and I've been fighting the US Embassy law because I didn't get a visa for the last tour I just did, and because I is Welsh or whatever the reason. I have it now, but so I put this single out, I Fought the Law, and it's out on iTunes. So.
Superb. Thanks a lot for your time.
My pleasure.
Cheers.
Man.